Hey everybody, I'm Justin Bohn.
I'm Mike Val.
And this is the Bohn and Zano Zone, where we are always on the lanes, off the charts, and on the mic. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Bohn and Zano Zone podcast presented by BuddiesProShop.com. Mike, good to be back. How you doing tonight?
Hey pal, what do you got on the wall there?
So
we made it big time. We made it big time.
Yeah, last week was the Monmouth County Youth Bowling golf outing. There were about 20 different foursomes raising money for youth bowling in Monmouth County, and the Bohn and Zano Zone was a sponsor. And this is our whole sign.
We sponsored a hole,
so I figured it'd be good to put up for the night.
Yeah, we sponsored a hole. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. So recapping real quick, Mike, we got to talk about this, and we will get the other three guys' opinions on the show. Syrup or Nutella on bacon?
I don't want to know.
Real quick, to give you guys background, me and Brennan on my YouTube channel, we've had a debate now about what belongs on bacon, syrup or Nutella. It started in Wichita, and we finalized the debate last weekend in Myrtle Beach at SYC. And, well, it went 9-9 to the people that were staying in the house with us. So we ended up having a stranger break the tie, and she picked syrup.
That lady looked like she was mortified when you talked to her.
Well, yeah, she was afraid to eat the bacon because we had no idea who she was.
Yeah, like, you could have had COVID for all you know. Who would eat your bacon?
Well, Brandon decided to go up and ask if we needed masks when I had a plate of bacon and wanted her to eat the bacon. So
I don't want to know.
So
we'll touch on Wichita too, because there's something out of Wichita that happened last night as well. That's all over the bowling world.
You can go right ahead for that one.
Do you think that guy? I'm sorry. What was his name? His name escapes me. I'm sorry.
Brent Bowers.
Brent Bowers. He's the general manager in North Rock, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you think he at any time last night said, "I had no carry"?
No.
No. I mean, he did have one shot. Was it a blower 7? I think it was, right?
Yeah.
$8.99.
I mean, you can't just say I had no carry and bowl.
I didn't carry. He should say that.
Oh, the one shot.
The one shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all over the bowling world.
Yeah, that had to be pretty cool bowling $8.99 in your home center that you're the general manager of in front of all your friends and family had to be incredible. And
doing it in Wichita. Wichita is a bowling mecca, so that's a pretty cool accomplishment too. In that center is one of the best centers in the country.
Oh, absolutely. It's a great atmosphere to be in. So do we want to introduce our first guest?
You can bring whichever one you want on first.
So I'll start with a guy we work for, actually.
Bring the boss on.
The president of BuddiesProShop.com, as he's shaking his head, Kris Forey. Kris, welcome to the show.
I don't know about the introduction there, but thank you.
I tried.
That was good. I like that you work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the payroll.
Getting bigger.
Yes.
So, Justin, I'll bring the next one in. I'm not going to do one of my normal intros. We'll just make them like a little short tonight.
Make them quick. They've both been on the show already. So
yeah, so I'm going to bring in.
Been introduced.
I'll bring in the reigning king. He is in a location with some pretty crappy internet, he said, and we're glad he's here tonight on Eastern Standard Time. I don't know if he has his Hello Kitty cup with him with his sweet tea like the last time he joined us. The Shark.
Hey guys.
Do you have the Hello Kitty cup?
I don't have the Hello Kitty cup this time.
You don't travel with it?
No, I had to leave it at home that time, and unfortunately, I don't have any method of making any sweet teas, so I'm gonna have to go with that this time.
Oh,
Can we
Oh,
get
But I didn't know
Popeyes?
Bowers.
Can you get it Popeyes?
No. We're gonna have Roadhouse tonight after we're done.
Roadhouse. That's what it is.
all right. Roadhouse is
Yeah.
Good
good.
choice. Good
Did you
choice.
say you did not know about Brent Bowers last night?
Had no clue.
$8.99.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, Justin, we got one more.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So the guy who's been pretty dominant in the PBA league the last 2 years, MVP both years, and the guy that seems to beat my dad on TV every time they bowl each other, Wes Malott. Wes, welcome back.
Thanks, man. Just make sure your dad doesn't retire anytime soon.
I was going to say that.
And
Have
make
a
some
couple more
TV shows.
titles.
So we got to get him to the gym, get him exercising a little bit so he can make some shows again.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be the day. Well, hey, listen, I have to say, in Parker's defense, he did bowl 820 with me last week.
That's a league.
But he averages 208 in league, and that's the truth. Justin, am I lying?
I don't know
No,
about that.
No, he had a 200 pin over average patch last week.
Yeah, whenever Parker comes in at 208 for league, you know he's struggling. So
So it sounds
Is he
like
bowling
anybody can
right-handed?
beat him on TV these days.
Yeah.
Not just me.
Justin, why don't you tell me this before we decide to bowl this over-under thing coming up?
What?
It's bad enough I don't bowl, but now I expected him to carry me. All right, now I got to practice.
yeah, you need to carry the lefty.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I'm being honest. So Justin, we have two kings. We have royalty. They're both kings. We have the original king, the reigning king, and why don't we get into it, Justin? You have the first one. Let's get it going. These guys their time is valuable. They don't want to talk to us.
So this PBA league thing has been, I would say, the talk of the town for the past 4 or 5 months. The draft started while we were still all stuck at home, and it's basically been ongoing from then until now. Obviously, the Lumberjacks won last week. So, and they were my picks from the beginning when they made they had the first draft of the 2 expansion teams. They were my first pick from the beginning, and they showed it and basically dominated the PBA league and back-to-back MVPs as well. So what makes you guys mesh so well? You've had the same 3 guys the last 3 years, you two and Kyle. So what makes it so much fun?
And if you ask me, it's the reason why I gave the MVP trophy to Tim Mack. He's a huge piece of the puzzle for us, I believe, especially this year. Because, we didn't have any fans in attendance and whatnot. So to keep the energy up, there's nobody better than the one and only Timmy Mack. I mean, he's a huge part of it, on top of us, gelling well and communicating and all that stuff. But there's still, Timmy's a huge piece of that puzzle, in my opinion.
Okay.
What about you there, Shark? You agree with that?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. When it came to the drafting process, Timmy took our opinions into account as well on who we thought we would bowl well with, like communicate well and be able to line up off of. And I think that's a reason why Wes, Kyle, and myself have bowled so well over the last couple of years together, because one, our communication is huge. Like it's there's Kyle. He's still here. But
That's all right. Well, you got him. I got Parker texting me.
Now you gotta make me check my phone. No, you're texting.
you said you need to shave. You look like a hillbilly.
Nice. They keep it up, buddy.
Yeah. But our communication is great, and all 3 of us can kind of play. We all play lanes similarly, even though our styles are totally different. So it makes making moves going from lane to lane or even shot to shot a lot easier on us. And then we have Timmy Mack behind us, just pumping us up every single shot. He's you couldn't ask for a better manager in a situation like what we have, and being able to keep us in the moment while obviously a Bayside is totally different. What we bowled in last week. Just being able to keep us in the moment and stay focused is huge.
It's like you kind of like read each other's moves basically. Like you just kind of feed off each other. It just seems like you all just mesh that well, where which each other's moves are going to be basically.
Yeah, 100%. And watching each other week in and week out on tour makes it a lot easier as well. And the fact that I think all of us understand longer a singles tournament, so our communication is heightened more than it already is out, in a single competition, because we still talk whenever it's singles competition. It might not be as easy and as fluid as it is at the league, but we still talk.
Okay. So last year you guys won the league in Bayside. This year you won it in Virginia, and you had two different people on the team, adding Packy Hanrahan and Martin Larson to the team. So did the team chemistry change at all, or were those two guys fit right in to feel like they were just at home again?
Go, Wes.
Well, really, the team chemistry was very similar, I think. And of course, it's easy when you have all these Wichita State guys that we keep drafting. So, before we even drafted Packy, Kris is over here busting on his chops and saying, no, we can't draft him first. We got to draft Martin first, just to put Packy on edge a little bit and scare him a little bit. But Mitch Hoope, similar situation there. So we were able to draft Hoope and Kris last year. And, I can say it was unfortunate to have to let, Hoope and Simonelli go last year. We wanted to keep our same team and do that because we knew we had something to gel. And, it was unfortunate those guys went somewhere else before we had a chance to even get to them. But, we had a feeling those guys were going to go early. So, we got before the draft even started, we were hoping that the two guys that we got would still be available, and we were able to get them. So, it worked out great. They did exactly what they needed to do, and for the reasons why we drafted them. It was unfortunate that we were not in Portland to be able to defend, but I think that was, I think we had something extra to go for than any other team in the league this year, and that was to be able to not defend our title, but to take the cup back to Portland so we could defend our title in Portland how we should have been doing it this year. But for obvious reasons, we weren't able to do that. So that gave us a little extra initiative to go out and win this year, I believe, and take it back to Portland so that those guys can be the rowdy, crazy fans that they are. And, hopefully we can do it again next year for a three-peat, and they can storm the approach again the way they did last year. I honestly, I can't wait for next year and to be back in Portland and defend it there and see what that's going to be like, because it's just going to be – it was crazy last year, and to defend it, to be able to come back and defend it there, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to experience anything like that, not in our sport.
That's like the place to go. That's the bucket list, Justin. We have to get up there to watch this.
Yeah, I think when one of these major events happen where the crowd gets all rallied up, we got to be there.
Yeah, Wes, it looked like Timmy was going to pick you up when you guys won it in the fifth game. It looked like he was going to hoist you right up and throw you over his shoulders. Oh, did he?
Did. Oh yeah. Tim, that's probably I want to say that might have been the fourth time now that he's actually picked me up. The first time he ever picked me up was, I want to say maybe 2010 or so, when he won the Samho Cup in Korea. He won, and I was out there, and I went out on the approach, and he picked me up because he was so freaking excited. And I can tell you, out of anybody who's ever tried to pick me up, he might be the only one to successfully do it. But not only that, the only ones to successfully do it and me feel safe and comfortable, if you want to say. So it's a lot of fun to be able to team up with these guys and have the excitement, and especially Timmy, to bring the excitement and energy that he does.
I got to ask you this one in the final match. How clutch was Martin Larson? Like, the guy did not miss. He was automatic. Unbelievable.
I'll be honest with you. When Kimberly handed out the MVP award, I was pretty much shocked that I was the one that got it, because Martin showed up in the last match there against the Las Vegas High Rollers and was definitely clutch. And I'll tell you, before we even had that match, I had already figured out that if I were to happen to come away with the MVP award, it was going to Timmy. So it's just, he brings so much to us, man, and he's a good friend, and I feel he deserves that because he's a huge piece of that puzzle, like I said.
Mike, I think that almost answers your next question, and we'll give this one to
that
the
does
Shark.
answer my question. Yeah.
But our next question was, what's it like bowling under Timmy as your manager?
Timmy is like our hype guy. Like, not only does he know ball motion and he knows mental game, and like Timmy's a bowler, but he's also he's a football coach, kind of like he played for Penn State. And, he knows how to get you pumped up and get you in the moment, and he knows how to get you excited for bowling. And you never really know what you're going to get with Timmy, but it's going to be awesome, and you're going to be excited whenever you're talking to him. So it's always a good time, and it's always like edge of your seat kind of excitement. And I absolutely love it. I wouldn't want to bowl for anybody else.
Wow. That speaks volumes right there, Justin.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm going to go off the script here really quick, Justin. I have one, and I know we answered the Timmy question. So
go ahead.
We had the two new additions this year. We had the two ladies teams. What did you guys think about it? I mean, nothing to sneeze at. Those 10 girls can bowl. Pros and cons of having the two women's teams. Do you think it was good for the league, bad for the league? Would you like to see more in the future?
Mike, I think we'll start and let Mr. President answer this one, because we know he's got some time constraints. So we'll let him answer this one first as a spectator.
Okay.
I mean, I think anytime you get other bowlers bowling, it's good. I think that they could have gone the route of picking some senior teams, from the senior PBA tour, the guys that obviously are members and support the tour, have bowled out there in the past. So I thought they could have gone that route. I do think they still can. I think adding a couple, two senior teams would be a good mix. But yeah, I mean, it was cool. I mean, obviously I tuned in, or I wanted to know if the women were going to win or not. So, and it adds to it, it brings in, because you at least got to see, just instead of the men, you got to see the women, and I see how the women play the lanes on the men's patterns. So it was good. It was good for TV. I would just like to see some of the senior, like at least one senior team, maybe two, come in. I think it'd be pretty cool to see that mix of bowlers. Like I said, as a fan of bowling, to see all every part of bowling.
Gee, Justin, who's been saying that for the past 6 months?
We've talked about it once or twice.
We've been saying that for a while now.
Yeah,
I think Kris is just trying to get Parker pumped up for this tournament that he's going to bowl him in.
I didn't say he was going to get drafted.
Yeah, it's just a team of Hall of Famers.
He'd probably be a captain.
Parker's not there.
I think the biggest shock to me with the girls was, and this is I guess a negative thing, was when Liz missed the spare in the 10th.
I heard about the next day, and I was like, "What? She missed a spare?"
Kris, it was close.
I heard that too.
That was like so unlike Liz Johnson. Prather, you're shaking your head. You saw it, obviously. You were there.
Yeah.
It wasn't close.
No, and she looked uncomfortable the entire time shooting that spare. And typically when you think of Liz Johnson, you think like one of the most clutch female bowlers to ever live, probably the greatest of women bowling. And I think the only thing that I could personally think of that would make her feel that way is her realizing that she's bowling for 4 other women bowlers plus the manager. It's no longer just her. So she had that little bit of added pressure, and you could visibly tell while she was on the approach that she just wasn't comfortable shooting that spare at that time. It's probably something that she hasn't, had to feel in quite some time.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I would add to that and say, I mean, obviously Liz has won just about anything and everything that there is to win. And she has been, she was a member of the Lumberjacks as well. So she's kind of experienced a little bit of that environment. But when you have to get up and, make that spare to win the match or advance, whatever the case may be in a situation like that, and you got the heat of not only that, but 4 other, teammates behind you and a manager, as Kris said, I mean, that pressure is like no other. It is definitely brings another level to that. And, as Kris said, she was very uncomfortable. She took tape out and then she ended up dropping it. And, it's that all goes into, when we draft for our teams. I mean, all that stuff is factored in and as a part of, part of it when we draft for sure.
Yeah, Mike, we were watching it at the bowling center, and Dad was standing right there, and Dad's obviously watched Liz bowl for forever, and he had goosebumps up and down his arms, like his arm hairs were sticking, like he
couldn't believe it.
Could not believe it.
No, it was good.
I think the guys on the other team as well couldn't believe it either.
Yeah, because they were probably already penciled out. Oh, 3-6. This is golden.
Yeah,
like this is over.
It's not like you're shooting a baby split or anything. I mean, it was kind of routine, but it happens to the great ones, so it happens.
Yes, it does.
All right, Justin, let's get back on track here.
So this venue was a little bit different. As the past few years, it's been up at Bayside Bowl, and that atmosphere is unlike no other. And this year, it was moved to Virginia with no fans at all. So obviously, no fans and masks had a little bit of an effect on the league, but you guys were still able to come out on top. What differences did you guys see, and how were you able to overcome them?
Go ahead, Wes.
Well, the censor button really wasn't very active either this past couple of days. I saw that. Il Demaro let it fly.
That's for sure.
Il Demaro let it fly a couple times.
Oh yeah, and Brad.
And we'll talk about Brad in a minute.
But I mean, I'll tell you, it definitely was totally different. I mean, there was no high fives. There was no going, running out and charging the approach if somebody needs it. Yeah, it was all elbow bumps, and really it wasn't even that at the beginning. But it got to that, and but like I said, for us though, we had a little something extra to go out and get, and I think it brought a little bit more for us. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be initially. And maybe that's why, is because we had a little bit of fire under us to go win this thing so that we could take it back to Portland. I'm not sure, but for me, it was definitely different, but still was actually a lot of fun. And I haven't seen it on TV, but I hope it came across well. And I know there was definitely some times that it was down for us a little bit, especially that the championship match, but we had to keep our composure and go out because we had something to go get, and we didn't want to get, too down or too high. We wanted to stay even keel and roll through it and go win this thing, and we were able to do it. So, and then at the end, it was game on, do whatever we want. So we had a lot of fun there at the end.
Is that where the cup stays? The cup stays up in Bayside, and that's where it is for the year?
That's a good question. I don't know if it stays up there or not.
Was it in the Mac house? It could be in the Mac mantle for all we know right now.
Could be.
Who? And by the way, declined our interview tonight, Timmy.
He had some stuff to do with his daughter.
Yeah. He has soccer practice.
He doesn't get he travels a lot with his international job with Storm, and then his wife also works night shifts and everything, Brenda. So any chance, and I can relate. I mean, any chance you get to get to your kids and watch them play sports or do any activities like that, you're going to do them. So
absolutely. So being curious, is he going to be there is he repping this week with the playoffs, or is he's no?
No, that's 2 one ball rep per company, so one for Storm and one for Rotogrip. So
Okay.
Jim Callahan is like the lead guy with for ball reps on the Storm and Rotogrip side, and then the second guy is Sean Ryan. Timmy.
Do they have the trucks there for this or no? With everything going on, the truck is there.
Yeah. Both of them. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if they changed it up because of all this crazy crap going on.
I think Timmy's carrying a different Storm bag this weekend, maybe.
Yeah, maybe a little.
He's gonna be chasing around a different type of ball.
Is his daughter playing soccer?
No. I think he's got something set up with Woody Austin. Actually, it was.
Is he going
to a Storm bag sponsored by Storm as well out on the golf tour, the senior golf tour?
That's cool.
Wait, Tim is going to be
I don't know
caddy
if that's this weekend or not, but I know I think it's coming up.
That's cool.
Timmy Mack is caddying somebody. That is fantastic.
That's awesome.
It would be great if he was caddying at the Masters. You have like that little white jumpsuit on. Can you imagine Timmy like in a little white jumpsuit? Oh my God, it's phenomenal. We love Timmy Mack, Justin. He's a big fan of the show. He's been on a couple times.
Yeah, we love Timmy. We'll let this one slide from him.
Yeah, Tim gets the pass today. He's with soccer.
I need pictures of Timmy carrying a golf bag.
Oh, that's phenomenal. So is this basically with the back-to-back? I mean, you guys have set the bar pretty high now. Is this considered a dynasty? Like you guys like the Patriots of the PBA league here? Tim's the Bill Belichick. You guys are like the Tom Brady's, and that's like the best 5-man team ever formed. I mean, what are we thinking here, guys?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think it's a little tough to call it a dynasty. I think if we make it to the finals, 2 more years, and win one or whatever, if we make it to the finals consistently, then sure. But it obviously becomes increasingly difficult with more teams being added, get a later draft pick. Selecting the right person for the team becomes increasingly difficult. The more that are added, because then the pool just gets smaller and smaller. And obviously the better players, like if for whatever reason, like Packy bowled great. He's young. Kris is back. Hello.
New location.
Trying.
Yeah. But Martin and Packy bowled incredible, especially Packy for it being his first year. Like the likelihood that they're going to, fall all the way back to us again is incredibly unlikely. So we're going to have to, have more conversations about guys that are bowling well at the time, and being able to select the right guys that are going to mesh with all of us, and making that decision is going to ultimately come down to Timmy. But it gets increasingly difficult the more that we bowl and the better that we bowl.
So you guys are grandfather with 3 members a year, right? You keep 3 guys per year. Is that what it is? And then 2 go back into the draft pool, basically?
Yeah, unless they change it, which is possible. Hopefully they change it to where you get to, if you win, you get to keep your team. That'd be dope.
I would agree with that. I think that it should be that way. If you win, you should keep the same 5 guys to be able to defend
it.
The same 5 guys.
Yeah, grandfather the 5 guys in and try to beat them again. Absolutely.
Yeah. Mike, I got one question.
Okay.
Or I got one a little off the script here. So, do you guys think? So obviously it's been at Bayside the past few years, and Portland's been the hometown team every year. In other sports where we look at like football, for example, and you go to different stadiums in different towns, and there's the home team every time. You guys are the same home team every year. Do you think that that helps you guys at all? Or do you think that's an advantage that you guys have that the other teams don't?
You know what? It might be the opposite, honestly. Just because of the pressure that is on us to own, for all those guys being there and cheering. I mean, I can tell you for the first 2 or 3 years, there was a ton of pressure, in my opinion. And now that we got the monkey on our back and we've been able to win, it might be a little different. But those guys are loud and crazy, and I mean they're loud and crazy the first few matches, but then when we come on, it's another decibel. It's a different animal. So there's a lot of pressure.
Okay.
So I don't know that it's an advantage.
Yeah, for me, last year being my first year, it was the exact way. Like, I felt the pressure. I felt the crowd change, and it affected me. It affected my performance. I didn't do the greatest last year. I was very surprised that, obviously, coming down to it, like, being saved and staying a lumberjack was, huge for me. That's, after the effect of like the playoffs and everything like that, but in Portland last year, being able to stay a Portland lumberjack after not really doing my best in that is definitely going to help me in the future. But I agree, like the pressure meter gets dialed up a little bit whenever we come on, because they go up to another level. And I've had a couple people talk to me about, like, oh, what if we go to like Detroit and then you get to bowl against Detroit as the hometown team? Like, I think the main reason we don't do that is because you don't get the same like excitement that you do out of the Portland crowd. People are a little hesitant to be loud and act like it's a football game or a basketball game or whatever. Like, I hope that people in the future on TV shows, like, it becomes more like Portland.
Justin, I got one off the topic. I think we'll wrap it up with these guys here. And this is the one we didn't talk about. This one. Did Brad Angelo actually have a chance with AJ Johnson, or did AJ Johnson like 3 seconds?
What was that?
Would AJ Johnson drop Brad Angelo in like 30 seconds if that escalated? Or would Brad actually have a puncher's chance?
I don't know. But let's.
That was good for camera, though. That was really good for the camera.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
No, but it was good entertainment, and that was pretty cool. Like, the censors were kind of lax with the censors and kind of let it fly because it was live and you heard everything. So it was kind of like a double-edged sword. It was cool in one way and kind of bad in another way.
Yeah, my personal opinion, Brad could have handled it a little differently, and it could have been just as good. To me, it was a little, if you want to say,
childish.
I was going to say childish. He could have easily turned around, struck, and given it right back to him the exact same way that AJ gave it to him, and it would have started it off, and it would have fed with everybody instead of, just my opinion with that. And it could have been just as good, if not better, if it would have been handled a little differently,
a little more maturely, basically.
If you want to say, I mean.
I'll say it. I have no problem saying it.
Yeah,
act like you've been there before, right?
Professionally. I just think he could have handled it, and it still could have been, probably could have been better if he would have handled it more professionally. Because you still could have done it, and it would have been great, and it would have been great for TV. Because I'll tell you, AJ did the same thing to us. Mm-hmm. And I even told him after we won, we were congratulating everybody and everything. And I told him, I said, man, I wanted the chance to be able to give it to you. And I never had a chance to do it because, I was the 5-hole and he was the leadoff. So as soon as I got done, he was coming up next. So I had those opportunities because we also started first. So every chance, but I never had a chance to be able to give it to him. It never worked out as much as I wanted to. And it's nothing at AJ. It's just,
that's his personality.
Good for TV. It generates some excitement for all of us. I mean, everybody feeds off of it. So, and I don't know if there were any personal feelings there or not. I mean, obviously Brad took a little bit of it personal, I guess, but you can't do that. And he's struck getting it started off and trying to get his team pumped up. I mean, there was nothing directly at Brad or the other team. It's just, it's part of it. It's part of being an entertainer.
He did what a leadoff bowler's supposed to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
Very good point, Chris.
And that's so in the past, we've either had Simonelli or Kyle Troop start off for that reason, for that exact reason, to start it off, get the excitement going, get Bayside going, get them pumped up, get them in it. And I mean, obviously we didn't have that this year, so we went with Martin at the leadoff to be able to get a good read on the lane. And, you know, next year it might be totally different. We might be back to Kyle or whoever, depending on who we have, to lead that off, to be able to get the crowd pumped up, because that is a big part of it.
Good stuff there. Did you catch when Ildemaro took the pick out of his pocket and started picking his beard out?
Oh, his little comb, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ildemaro,
Fear of the beard.
Yeah.
Ildemaro gave a little bit there, and Packy gave it back to him like the fourth game, or was it the fourth game? Third or fourth game, Packy gave it back to Ildemaro a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
That was good.
Ildemaro kept coming up to the ball return.
What did he do?
Yeah. So at one point, Packy was up on the approach, and Ildemaro came up to the ball return on his lane and picked up his ball and was messing with his ball. And
just cleaning it off, going through his pre-shot routine.
And Ildemaro was right. And Packy looked at him back up, he was nice about it. And then Ildemaro was what am I doing? It's fine. But Packy obviously is 18 feet tall, so he stands at the back of the approach. And Ildemaro put his ball down, and then Packy went to go set up again, and then Ildemaro picked up his ball a second time, and then all five of us were like, "Yo, dude, get back! Just let him bowl. We're not doing anything to you. Just let him bowl, and then you have plenty of time." So then Pat gets up, absolutely laces one, and then turns around and is like, "Yeah, get back! Wait your turn," type of deal. And I was
that stinks. That stinks. You didn't get to see that on TV, because I saw Packy flip out, so I thought it may have something to do with Ildemaro's previous shot when he was yelling and screaming. You know?
Yeah. No, I didn't know you didn't get to see it, because it was
you didn't see
quick.
Ildemaro at the ball return or anything. You just saw Packy, and then when he came back, he yelled at him. He yelled something, and obviously it was in Ildemaro's direction. Gotcha. I was like, okay, here we go. We have a little interaction now.
Yeah, just a little different setup. I mean, we're all standing there behind our teammates while they're bowling, and normal TV shows, we're sitting down, and then once the other player is done, then we get up and go to our shot. We're not standing at the ball return. So, I don't know if it was just if you want to say a rookie mistake, or if there was really something behind that with Ildemaro. I don't know. But we were all like, dude, what are you doing? You need to back off and let him have. I mean, it's his approach, it's his time, not yours. You need to get off and take that distraction away. So, but yeah, that's exactly why Packy gave it back to him.
Go Packy.
Your guy, another guy that works for you, huh?
I said I have a large stable. It keeps growing. I get a phone call once in a while, or I get a text that says, "How about we add so and so?" I go, okay, well, let me think about this. So it's worked out well so far.
And your other staffer, Chris, he kind of looked a little lost. Francois looked a little confused in the final round. He didn't look too comfortable either.
Yeah, I just it's tough there. I mean, we're watching. He looked really good the first couple of days. Obviously, the pattern played. I mean, these guys can talk about that. The pattern played so much different that very last day. So I think obviously you guys didn't get much practice on it until they just throw you out there. You start practicing with it. And you have an expectation, I would guess, just being any kind of bowler. If you bowl through 2-3 days in a row on a pattern, you have an expectation going back out there in the same pair of lanes. And I know, Packy said, all of a sudden balls were going in the gutter, just hydroplaning to the right. Well, all of a sudden they're like, oh, you haven't seen it, and now the lights are coming on soon. I mean, you could see it the first game with the Lumberjacks. I mean, the first 6 frames were horrendous, or 5 frames. I don't think you guys even struck in the first 5 frames.
Nope.
If I'm correct. I mean, it was like, what are we watching here? This isn't what we saw the first couple of days. So I can see, from Francois' standpoint, I mean, or anybody, it's like, okay, now I got a couple shots, and now you're like scrambling whatever balls you used, or pretty much, you got to change your angles. You got to do a lot of different things. So, yeah, I think he got out of rhythm. He looked a little better the last couple of games, but he definitely was out of rhythm early. I think when they moved him to the number 1 spot to take a little bit of pressure off of him there, I thought that was a good move. To get him out of the the 9 the 4-9 spot.
Yeah.
So, Justin, that wraps up my question for the league. I know we have a part 2 this evening.
Yeah, we do. We're going to talk about the playoffs, but we're going to let Wes go because we know he's got some things to do. We'll put it that way. So, yeah. Wes, thanks again for coming on. It was great talking to you again, and best of luck wherever your travels take you. And we want to see you back on TV again very soon because it was a great time watching the PBA League.
All right, guys. Always enjoy being on. It's always a lot of fun. Justin, be sure you give your dad a hug from me. I think he probably needs one. So after the show, please go give him a hug for me and tell him we all love him still. And, you guys take care, Kris. Good luck this week. Kris Forey, good seeing you.
Good to see you, Wes.
Mike, as always.
Stay safe, Wes.
You guys have a good one. Absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me again. You guys have a good time.
Later, bro.
Thanks, Wes.
And there goes the original king. And now we're left with the current king.
Yeah, so now on to the PBA playoffs. I'm going to actually pull up the board here real quick and talk about what's going on. So the PBA playoffs is taking on this weekend starting Saturday. They've got a bunch of shows Saturday. King Shark's got a bye in the first round. And looks like he's bowling the winner of Marshall Kent and Chris Vi.
Where is the Shark? In the bottom? I didn't see him. Where was he?
Bottom left.
Bottom left.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
All right. You got the board, Mike? You're good?
Yep, we're good. Thank you.
All right. We'll probably pull that up once or twice more. But so going from the PBA League mode and wrapping up the World Series to now the PBA playoffs, you had a bunch of play on that TV pair. Do you think that will actually help what you're going to be doing for the playoffs, bowling on that pair a little bit and kind of being in that atmosphere of no fans? You did it back in July with the King of the Lanes and the Tour Finals, but now you're back in it again. Do you think you got a little bit of an advantage?
No, not at all. Because the PBA League pattern obviously was conducive to high scores, and it allowed the pair to play similar, if you will, because we bowled on the right lane on the left pair, and we bowled on the left lane on the right pair. Very confusing, obviously. So whenever we go back for the playoffs, we're actually bowling on the left pair. We'll have a actual pair. We won't bowl on a right lane and a left lane. We won't do that. Okay. We'll bowl on just an actual pair. So it's going to play totally different. And when we did the World Series of Bowling and everything like that, and we did the match plays, like they were virtually impossible. A lot of low scores, guys shooting 460 to 480 in some matches for 3 games. Like they were hard. And a lot of that has to do with topography and not really changing the patterns much from the World Series. They were like, okay, these are the numbers that we use. This is what we're putting out, and you guys figure it out. So in South Point, the lanes played totally different than what they did in Virginia at Bolero. Different lane surface, different amount of games, different track area, everything's different. So it made it a lot more difficult to, make those adjustments. So they're going to be totally different than what we've seen in the past bowling in this center for the last 2 weeks. So I'm going in with a completely open mind and not trying to have any kind of preconceived notions. I have just as good an opportunity to win as anybody else. Last year I didn't have a bye. This year I have a bye. All it does is guarantee me more guaranteed money if I lose. That's all it does. So I'm not.
What pattern are you guys getting for this?
It's the same as last year. Don
Do we know?
Carter, I think. I think it's the Don Carter. It's the same thing as last year. But again, different bowling center. Last year, funny, I knew this stat going into right after the playoffs. But last year, the playoffs, I didn't shoot a game of 230 and won. The entire playoffs.
Wow. For
every single game that I bowled, I never shot a game over 230. I think my high game was the one against Bill where I shot 226. That was my high game.
Wow.
And I would imagine this year, unless they want scores more, scores higher for, more TV, time or whatever, like making higher scores versus each other deal for matches to make it more exciting. Unless they do that, like I'd be happy with 226 every game, because at least then, like, the guy still has to throw.
I think he's frozen, guys.
7, 8. Oh, am I not? Can you guys hear me?
He's moving.
Can you hear me?
There we go. There we go.
Good.
All right. Did I cut out at all? Do I need to go back?
Not for me, dude.
I'm good.
Okay. Well, hopefully everybody at home watching is also good, and it's just Mike and his, bad internet.
Jersey. Crappy Jersey internet, right?
Yeah. So, if I shoot 226 every game, if I throw it okay, I'd be okay with that, whether I win or lose. Funny enough, I said that a couple weeks ago at an amateur tournament. If I shoot 230 every game, I'd be happy. And I literally shot like a game between 230 and 237 or like 15 games straight, and never had anything higher, and got railroaded in brackets and finished in the tournament. And I was like, all right, well, I need more. I can't say that. I can't limit myself like that anymore. But yeah, no, I don't think I have any advantage over anybody else.
Okay.
It's a good format. I like the format. Anything can happen in a match like that.
I do, but they look really hard. I mean, that just watching last week, that surface looks. Any touch of oil on the outside part of the lane is like impossible. Yeah, from what I could tell, the topography on the gutters is kind of like this, where it's very steep towards the gutter. So if you get it right of 5, it's very liable to go in the gutter. Looking at the league pattern, you wouldn't think that. Wes was literally throwing it at the gutter at like 35 feet, and it was just bouncing off of it, and sometimes going high flush or through the face. And but as soon as you put just a little bit of oil out there, it has no chance. And then once you get on the left side of 5, they kind of go this way, where they're a little concave, and if you don't have the right angle through the front, it's going to go through the face every single time. Like when I was bowling the World Series, the pattern felt really flat. You had to, for me, I had to really split boards, which is why I didn't make TV. And the match scores were relatively low, like 210, 215 was winning games. It was a really good score. And then if you got lined up and shot 240 or 250, it was almost a guaranteed win that game. And I only had that against, for one match, and that was against Stu. That was partially because he threw urethane, so I was able to just jam it up the lane, and was able to create a little bit better entry angle than he did.
That sounds like you had to bowl on a major, basically. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, they've been pretty brutal. But I think I would imagine, because it's the last event of the season, we're bowling for 100,000. It's match play the whole time. I think the scores are going to be a little higher. They're going to make the pattern a little bit more conducive for higher scores, and you're going to see some higher scores on TV. At least that's my expectation. But like I said, anything can happen. Pair to pair on that building's tough.
I heard a rumor that building has never actually had a league. And
oh God,
I don't know that for sure, but I know that historically Bolero centers have been more of the open play fun centers type of deal.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't really surprise me if that was true, but I can't confirm that.
Yeah, that was something Brandon told me. I don't know if I should trust my sources on that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust the source on that one. But so when will this wrap up? So we're going to start this Saturday. The final match will be what, Monday?
Yeah, but
they'll be over Monday.
Yeah, it's taped, and they're going to play it every weekend until it's done. So like, I think Sunday is technically the first show, so the first like round. So I think you guys are going to like a quarter of the bracket or maybe one side of the bracket, and then the following Sunday will be the other side or something like that.
I think Saturday and Sunday are the first parts. This Saturday.
Okay.
So there's Saturday at 8:00 is the first one.
Yeah, I got
on Fox. It actually is on Fox. Do you have it there, Justin?
Yeah, I got the schedule. So the round of 24 on the left side of the bracket, Tommy Jones and Butters, Francois, Norm, Dom Barrett, Dick Allen, and Marshall Kent, and Kris Vi. Hi, Christian.
You have to wait till Justin finishes.
Did you know that the Titanic was also found someone found the Titanic last year too.
Okay. But Kris and I have learned more about the Titanic in the last day or two. I've learned even more today.
He was talking
Christian
about
can
that
tell you anything about the Titanic right now.
Yeah. He was Googling it all day yesterday.
You get same thing today.
That's awesome.
It's good.
So,
he's learning a lot. Go ahead. Back to you.
Well, that's good. I'm glad Christian's learning. That's good. But the Titanic quote from a 6-year-old was kind of shocking. But anyway,
that's exactly what we said yesterday. He was telling us every stat. But go ahead. Back to PBA bowling.
Yeah. So that side of the bracket is Saturday at 8:00 on Fox. The other side of the bracket, which is Kyle Sherman, AJ Johnson, Darren Tang, and Nick Pate, Smallwood, and Grandpa Barnes, Brad Miller, and Tom Doherty. That's next Saturday at 6:00 on Fox. And then the round of 16, all 4 matches are Sunday, November 1st at 7:30 on FS1. Quarterfinals are November 8th at 1:30 on FS1, which is a Sunday. And then the semifinals and finals are Sunday, November 8th at 3:30 on FS1.
I think the disappointment is that, at least from what the whole thing is going to be done in like the next couple of days, right? I mean, like, so I thought what was awesome. I know obviously there was a delay. You guys had to fly back to Maine, and I know with COVID things are a little different. I just thought that was awesome to build up to that. You know, right. I mean, obviously, what was going through your head? I mean, I met you up there. That's when we hooked up there, but that time you had down, what was in your head that whole, like, you had about a month, right? Month
yeah, I had probably right at a month, maybe a little over. And the entire time I just was like, I want to do anything but bowl. Like, I don't want to think about it. You know, it was the most money. Even if I lost the first round against Simonson, it was the most money I was ever going to win at that time. And I was like, I just don't want to think about it because I'll never be able to pry it off. So I was just like, go fishing, go work outside, like anything to get your mind off of bowling. So that way, whenever you get there, you can just let it all kind of just soak in and you can experience it for what it is. And you still get to experience that, but it happens in real time and it happens a lot faster this year. And then you get to, go back and kind of experience it in a different way where you can watch it for the first time with everyone else, the rest of the country and the rest of the world. So it'll be interesting. But I will say I'm very happy that I don't have to wait nearly as long because, at this rate, we'd be waiting, almost a month and a half. Yeah, it'd be a month and a half that it would be if we had to wait. And, probably not very cost efficient. And it would also be really hard for, like, let's say Jesper, where if he had to fly back to Sweden and then come back to bowl the finals, it's a lot more expensive for him to do it than it is for me. Because last year when I had to fly from Chicago to Maine, it was $100, $200 maybe. Like, and for him it's $1,000. So
yeah, from a fan watching it, I thought it was better for TV to be built that way, to have that build up, and then have it that way because I didn't know who the top 4 were until the round of 8 was done.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I thought from a fan's standpoint, like they kept all the matches like really super quiet. I thought it was really good for TV. And then on top of it, the fact that it was live on Fox, I thought that was really, really good.
Yeah, I would imagine that we're like they have us sign, disclosures where we can't talk about it and all that other stuff. So I imagine they're going to do the same thing this year. So if you do figure out the matches, then somebody's not doing their job. But I would imagine that the buildup is probably going to be just as good as it was last year. It's just not going to be live. The last weekend. But hopefully it's just as exciting. I think again last year what helped was that it was in Portland and you had the excitement of the crowd. Whereas this year obviously you actually can't have a crowd. So that'll make it a little bit that'll be on us to make it exciting, the bowlers. Which I think a couple of new faces are going to, pop out and maybe turn some heads. Like I would love to see Nick Haight, win a match or two, or, me even go all the way. Like Nick's a buddy, but I think he's going to be one of those guys that is kind of like that sneaky entertainer where you don't really expect it. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, okay, I got to watch this guy. So hopefully something like that happens with, multiple people. But obviously I'm going to do my best to win and make it all the way to the finals again and make it entertaining for everybody at home.
Okay. All
Good
right.
stuff there, Your Highness.
Mike, you got anything else?
I want to know where I can get one of those Super Prather shirts at, Mr. Forey, that you used to wear around. Where can I get one of those?
Right now they're still on Inside Bowling, if I'm correct, right? And we're working on some new stuff too. So, but right now the old KP ones on that's on Inside Bowling still, right?
I think.
Can check.
So the house is. I don't know if I can.
I don't think you're supposed to really talk about this.
Yeah, I don't think I can say.
So
let's talk about that yet.
The Super Kris Prather and the 100,000 Kris Prather shirts are still up.
So the only thing I will say is that hopefully, so funny enough, in my hotel room right now, so Kyle was in here earlier, right?
Yeah.
He's actually staying directly below me. So hopefully he can hear me. I thought about just like, Sherman and Brad Miller are directly below me. So hopefully, one, they can hear me. And two, I'm going to be jumping around on this floor like every chance I get, just to bug them. But I can't really talk about what's going to be happening. But there's going to be an announcement tomorrow, so you guys look out for that, and then you'll have an answer to your question.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Well, I didn't even know that. I was just asking because I wanted a shirt. So
I get it, but
hey, I didn't know.
I thought you were going to ask about the cool hat. That's what I thought you were going to ask.
Now I was going to ask you working at one of those cool hats at.
We're working on it. That was a demo. Those were 3 demos came in, and Packy and Matt and Prather there. Next thing I know, they come downstairs. They all got hats on. I didn't even know we had them.
Yeah, Bill was just like, "Here you go, just take one. Here you go. Here's some stuff. Here's a backpack. Here's this. Here's that." And I was like, "Okay, whatever."
Yeah, and we're working on some stuff. So we have some new ideas. We have so hopefully some cool new things down the road.
Everybody has ideas, Justin.
Yeah, we think it's time to do some more merchandising, as you guys like to call it.
Yeah,
as you kids taught me in Columbus, merch. I'm like, what the hell is this merch stuff?
Merch is huge. We're me and Brandon are working on some right now as he's coming in right here.
What up?
Oh God Almighty!
He can't hear it. He can't hear me. I got here. Do you want to stay in for a few minutes, or you just?
I'll speak for a couple minutes.
Here you go,
Christian.
Jesus Christ! That's worse having Parker on.
That's not quite what you're supposed to say on a stream.
What?
Come here. Now you got all your friends. The only person not here is Packy.
dude.
And
I
Cece.
know, I'm looking for a seat, man. Hi, Christian. Hi, Kris. Hi, Kris.
what up?
Legend the Titanic was also found in I'm
My
not
time
playing
to
on
leave
my
now?
Nintendo Switch.
All right, go play.
Nintendo Switch.
He's gonna be talking about the Titanic for the next month.
He's been
Oh my
drawing
God,
it.
I
He
know.
drew the Titanic yesterday and today. He's coloring pictures. It's awesome. I think it's great. His school taught him that at 6 years old. I only knew about the Titanic I just knew it sank. I couldn't tell you anything else about it. He
just
knows
knew it
every
sank.
detail. He told us how many people lived, how many people died, how many boats they had.
Oh my
The-
God.
I bet
you watch
Mike
the movie?
doesn't even know that.
What's that?
I don't know that.
He told us there's 2 sister ships to it that they also didn't do very well.
Did you know
Hey.
that?
No.
So just
I'm
don't
not
be
intelligent.
associated with the Titanic.
It was the Olympic and the Christian. What was the other boat? Britannic?
The Britannic and
Olympic.
another
Olympic. Olympic. Yep.
All I know about the Titanic is that Rose made Jack sink in the movie. Well, she should have shared the life vest with him on the water. She should have shared that with him. She killed that poor guy.
So, all right.
All right, we'll get off the Titanic. There's
Enough of the Titanic.
interesting
So,
stuff, though.
yes. So while Brandon is here, we've got to ask
I
both
can't.
Kris Forey, Mr. President, and King Shark about our debate.
Okay.
So,
Oh gosh.
Jeez,
Mike, we didn't ask for your opinion, okay?
you don't want my
So-
opinion.
so we've had a debate going on for about a month now about what. So, do you guys like bacon?
Who doesn't?
Yeah, of course.
Who doesn't like
Okay.
bacon?
So, do you put anything on your bacon like syrup or Nutella?
Well, when I was a kid, I would put ketchup on, but now I don't use anything.
What?
Bacon is delicious by itself.
Yes,
Exactly.
That is
I
true.
was
I
thinking
So-
that when I heard this earlier. Like,
Yeah,
why,
so-
why ruin bacon?
Right?
So Brandon thinks that Nutella belongs on bacon, and
I'm sure that's good.
I'm on Team Syrup. So if you had to pick one, what would you pick?
I would
Probably
pick
syrup.
that both of you are wrong. Both of you
But
are wrong.
but here's the
No,
thing: like
It's
if
one or the other, Chris.
but if you have a platter like with eggs, pancakes, and then bacon, then the syrup gets on the bacon. I'm not going to order a side of bacon and ask for syrup to put over it. It
Right,
will only
like
mix if it's on the plate together.
That's
Yeah,
that's how bacon and ketchup get together. You put the ketchup on your eggs, and
Yeah.
you dip the bacon into the eggs.
See,
Yeah.
we even got Brian in the chat saying maple syrup, Brandon.
Okay, for everyone that says syrup, I guarantee you $100 that they've never tried Nutella on bacon.
I'm sure it's good.
I
I'm
guess
sure it's
tomorrow
good.
at
It's
breakfast
sweet.
I'm getting
Yeah,
Nutella and
sweet. It's like
bacon.
having like maple syrup bacon. They do make they
do
really
make
do
that.
make
Like
they do
imagine
maple
this
flavored
chocolate
bacon.
bacon. Like chocolate covered bacon. Like
They do that as well.
Sounds gross.
Tell me that sounds amazing.
Sounds
I'll tell you
good.
what I saw the other day. I saw an Oreo wrapped in bacon.
Oh,
Ooh.
I did see that. I
That-
saw that.
that
I
might
like
be
it.
I don't think I would eat that.
That
though.
looked amazing.
Listen, your
chocolate covered Oreos yesterday.
your aunt up there, Mr. Bones, your aunt Chrissy made us eat pickles and peanut butter on Labor Day week.
That sounds terrible.
You were there for that.
That
She
Go ahead,
made
Mike. Tell us
pickles-
that was the best thing on earth.
What's
was
that?
that
Go ahead, Mike. Tell us that was the best thing on earth.
was it
No, I didn't try one, but I thought it was the most repulsive thing I've ever seen.
was it a dill pickle, like a plain dill, or
Like a
butter- or
pickle,
butter
like
or
a
sweet? Or
like a
sweet
pickle spear, like out of the jar, like a pickle spear.
Oh,
And
bitter.
she had the pump of peanut butter, and she literally put the peanut butter across the pickle. And oh yeah,
That's disgusting.
So this
Yuck.
is what you guys talk
Yeah.
about on your show?
yeah,
No.
we're done.
Yeah. So if you
And this got Justin on the Morning Bolt, by the way, Friday. This
Yes.
topic will
Quick
have him
plug.
on with Gary Holzenberg Friday.
if you want to hear more about our bacon and syrup and Nutella debate, I'll be on the Morning Bolt, 11 a.m. Eastern, on the Storm Bowling Facebook page. So be there because I'm gonna talk with Gary about this.
I would
but-
do syrup. Personally, I would do syrup. Just
Thank you.
because, Just because I've had that with you. Obviously, get that if you have pancakes, and it obviously gets mixed together, and you're
See?
and you can
Yeah.
and you can buy bacon that already has
Unbelievable.
maple flavoring into it. So
Yeah. See?
Yeah, if I had to pick between the two, I don't like Nutella, so I can't imagine I would ruin bacon with it.
Big dub.
So I would pick syrup.
And that's royalty talking there, Brandon Bone.
Yeah, Brandon. That's 2-0 on the show.
Unbelievable.
And I agree with
It
you, too. Make
It
it
must be a
3-0.
right-handed thing.
Yeah, probably.
3-0. Mike said it too.
The right side.
So, guys,
We're easier on the right. So we picked the right side. We picked the good stuff.
You picked the good stuff. So we're gonna wrap this one up. Brandon, thanks for stopping in for 3 minutes.
Oh, I had a great time talking about bacon, syrup, and Nutella. You know,
That's the same kid who put salad dressing on pizza.
Okay, first of all, Mike.
Do you put ketchup on pizza?
No.
My father did. He would put ketchup on pizza. Ketchup goes with everything. My father. When I was a kid, ketchup went with everything. You would drink it.
Oh no! God, no!
Think of how sweet it is. Heinz ketchup is like the best stuff in the world.
No.
Oh.
I bet that's how he came up with half of his great ideas. Just eating ketchup, and he's like, "Oh my god, I gotta do this."
I don't do that anymore, but yes, when I was younger.
Not anymore.
The ketchup flavored potato chip isn't bad, actually. I've had those.
Ketchup goes. Think about though. Ketchup's like on almost everything.
Does go with cereal?
Chicken. You put it on chicken. You put it on chicken. You dip your chicken nuggets in it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Prather, will you have like when you go to get your chicken fingers and your sweet tea? Are you gonna have ketchup with your chicken fingers, or you're just a plain guy?
No, I'm more of a honey mustard or a barbecue. I mean, barbecue is kind of ketchup, but with some other stuff in it. So
if you get a soft pretzel, have you ever tried a soft pretzel with ketchup?
No, but I've tried it with mustard.
Mustard's good. Mustard's like
the standard. You gotta try ketchup with it, and ketchup and mustard mixed together.
I've had like a corn dog with ketchup and mustard, but I mean, I guess that's normal, right?
Yeah, that's kind of normal.
Yeah, that's the closest I got to a soft pretzel.
When you're from Pennsylvania, ketchup goes with like everything.
Wow.
We'll let that stay in Pennsylvania, Kris.
I moved to Connecticut. I lost track of that.
All right, so guys, thanks for coming on. It was fun talking with both Krises.
Yep.
Mr. President and King Shark. Guys, we will see you guys somewhere down the road. Kris, best of luck this weekend in the PBA League week.
Give him help, Prather.
Thanks for having me on.
In the PBA playoffs.
In the PBA playoffs.
Yeah, league's over.
Yeah, Brandon correcting me, but it's okay. I was wrong.
That's why you should have him as your director/producer.
No.
You should have cue cards. That should be his job. Just cue cards.
Cue card. I like that.
Yeah.
He'd be like the guy across.
It's not the only thing I'm good at.
Jimmy Fallon, the guy.
Yeah, and then hold the applause sign when something is funny, like clap your hands.
Exactly.
All right, so that's going to wrap this one up, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please be sure to check out the Facebook page, like the video, the YouTube channel, subscribe to it, and be sure to check out BuddiesProShop.com. Use coupon code ZONE5 off to save 5% off your next order. As Christian is also saying, never miss another video. So, guys, we will see you soon down the road. Thanks again for tuning in, and we will
Stay safe, everybody.